Before Samson was born, God had already chosen him. An angel appeared and declared, "This child will be set apart, a Nazirite from the womb." He was destined to deliver Israel. The Spirit of the Lord came upon Samson, and with his bare hands he tore a lion apart, not by his strength, but by God's power. But then came compromise. Samson touched what was unclean and took honey from the dead lion. A small act, but the beginning of disobedience. He walked into places he was not meant to be, celebrating among the Philistines, surrounded by what God had warned against. Even when his parents warned him, he refused to listen, choosing desire over wisdom. Then came Delilah, beautiful, persuasive, dangerous, and Samson fell right into the trap. Again and again she asked for his secret, and slowly Samson gave away what was sacred, playing with danger until it was too late. While he slept, his strength was taken, the symbol of his covenant gone. And just like that, everything changed. The Philistines seized him, bound him, blinded him. The man who once broke chains was now a prisoner. But in his lowest moment, Samson prayed, "O Lord, remember me." And God answered. With one final act of strength, he pushed the pillars. The temple shook and came crashing down. Samson was the strongest man in the Bible, yet his downfall came from small acts of disobedience. Strength without obedience leads to destruction. But even in failure, God's mercy still responds to a sincere cry. A divine calling requires discipline. Lessons learned from Samson's story. 1. Scripture, Judges 13:5. Samson was chosen before birth, yet he lived carelessly. Lesson, being called by God is not enough. You must live a life that honors that calling. 2. Small compromises lead to bigger falls. Scripture, Judges 14:8-9, Numbers 6:6. Samson touched a dead lion, violating his Nazirite vow. Lesson, what looks like a small compromise can open the door to greater disobedience. 3. Wrong relationships can destroy destiny. Scripture, Judges 14:2-3, Exodus 34:16. Samson pursued relationships God warned against. Lesson, the wrong connections can pull you away from God's purpose for your life. 4. Ignoring wise counsel leads to trouble. Scripture, Judges 14:3, Exodus 20:12. Samson rejected his parents' advice. Lesson, God often speaks through parents and elders to protect us from harm. 5. Repeated sin weakens spiritual strength. Scripture, Judges 16:1-4. Samson continually gave in to temptation. Lesson, constant exposure to sin dulls spiritual sensitivity and strength. 6. Guard what God has entrusted to you. Scripture, Judges 16:15-17, Proverbs 11:13. Samson revealed the secret of his strength. Lesson, not everyone deserves access to your spiritual secrets and weaknesses. 7. Spiritual carelessness leads to sudden downfall. Scripture, Judges 16:19, 1 Peter 5:8. Samson slept while danger surrounded him. Lesson, when you stop being spiritually alert, you become vulnerable to attack. 8. Pride can blind you spiritually. Scripture, Judges 16:20, Proverbs 3:5. Samson assumed God was still with him. Lesson, relying on your own strength instead of God leads to spiritual blindness. 9. Sin has consequences. Scripture, Judges 16:21, Galatians 6:7. Samson was captured, blinded, and enslaved. Lesson, disobedience may seem harmless at first, but it always has consequences. 10. God's mercy is available even after failure. Scripture, Judges 16:28, Psalm 51:17. In his final moment, Samson cried out to God and God answered. Lesson: no matter how far you fall, God can still restore you when you turn back to him. Insight: Samson's life proves this truth. Great strength without obedience will eventually lead to destruction, but God's mercy is still available to those who return to him.